incredible. So let's check it out, man. 12 minutes. Let's get it.
Let me ask the question. What happened to Treyarch Zombies?
I mean, this is
Modern
the truth.
Warfare
What did
3
happen?
Zombies was announced this week, and it's been revealed to be a cross between DMZ and Outbreak from Cold War. And despite this being a Sledgehammer game, Treyarch is developing this Zombies mode.
Yeah, so no matter what, whatever happens with Zombies, this is on Treyarch, man. So this is big. Like, it could either do well, which I think could be a thing, or it could flop big time. And, I mean, Vanguard was on Treyarch too, but Kevin Drew, apparently, the creator of Cold War, was not actually working on Vanguard. He is working on this mode, though. So this could be big, man. It could be big.
Does that sound
I don't
familiar?
know.
Well, it should, because that's exactly what happened with Vanguard.
True.
And it turned out horribly. Treyarch has learned nothing from their mistakes, it seems. They made Vanguard Zombies to be like the Outbreak game mode from Cold War.
It's crazy, though, lads, that they still decided to not add round base after Vanguard. Like, think about that. Is that not insane? They literally added round base to Vanguard because of the outcry, but then the next game doesn't have round based.
Just faster
It's
pace
wild.
for the hub
It's
area
wild.
instead of giant empty fields. And it was absolutely hated.
It's kind of wild.
Hated
Yeah.
by the long-standing
Hey,
community
Bricky!
and the zombie users.
Milo.
Yikes.
Nobody liked Vanguard Zombies, and Treyarch even admitted they had dropped
Yikes.
the ball and tried
Hard
to course
yikes
correct
there.
halfway through and reused assets to make 2 round-based maps.
True.
By that time, it was too little, too late. Even
Yeah.
if the maps were amazing.
Genuine question from my chat. 1 in the chat if you played Shino Numa Reborn. 2 in the chat if you didn't. I refuse to play this game. The reason why I refuse to is because of Activision's antics, though. Like, sure, the game might have gotten better, but what Activision was doing to its employees at this time, I refuse to do it. Refuse. And so, I mean, it's kind of continuing right now with MW3, but again, we'll have to see. Man.
First impressions are everything to Call of Duty. And if you fail at that, it's almost impossible to get the community to come back.
100%
This is exactly
the
what
truth.
happened with Call of
Yes.
Duty Ghosts.
Yes.
The game released with a terrible launch selection of multiplayer maps.
Oh, yeah.
And all
Yeah.
the DLCs were small to medium sized. Anyone
You see it happen with MW2 as well. A lot of people did not like MW2's maps, the most recent one. And because we were all expecting MW2 from 2009. And then it didn't happen. Now it's happening this year, right? So I feel like I got by buying that game. You know? I don't know. Does anybody here still play MW2? 1 in chat if you do.
that's stuck
I
around for
personally
Ghosts
don't.
remembers how good those DLC maps were. But nobody cared because nobody but the diehard fans were left playing the game.
Exactly. They
So
even
the
had
question
Favela
is,
in that game,
why
bro.
are we getting essentially the same thing again?
Yeah.
A non-round based, objective focused mode with zombies in it. Who asked for this?
Who is this for? I mean, that guy's spitting. I don't know who that guy is, but like he's always just saying
The
something
answer
wild.
is actually no one.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for this.
I agree.
Activision is making Treyarch make this half-baked mode yet again.
Oh, lads, I don't hate on Outbreak. I just need to say this, right? But did Outbreak cause this problem with Vanguard and MW3 to not have round-based? More people played Outbreak than all of the Cold War zombie maps. And I think just that statistic alone might have caused that, you know?
Again, because during Cold War, they saw players spike on the Outbreak mode.
Right,
Activision
exactly.
is desperately trying to chase that high of COVID-era CODs.
And they're never going to because it was in a pandemic. They're never going to. The player count was inflated, right? Like, it just goes to show that that was what the pandemic was, right?
As I'll call it, because they made more money on store bundles during that time period.
Exactly,
The truth
exactly.
is, though, that Outbreak and its quote-unquote success is a lie. Outbreak
And lads, like, this is the thing. It really goes to show that, like, why bother making quality DLC content for people to enjoy when you can just spam bundles and make, even more? Like, lads, I've said this before. Did you know in the last quarter 2 of this year, just the last 3 months, Activision has made $5 billion. 5 billion. That's with a B. That is wild. Billion.
Outbreak is one of the most boring and lazy repurposing of
Crazy.
assets in the history of Call of Duty. But to explain why that is the case, we need to go back further to Modern Warfare 2019.
Okay.
You see, Modern Warfare released just before the start of the pandemic. And once the pandemic began, everything was put into lockdown.
The restrictions and warnings that are currently
Shout out to Trump, man.
in place.
Drake's in chat for Trump. He really came through with the pandemic, man.
Everyone
What
was
a guy.
cooped up in their homes. And when everyone has free time on their hands, they play more video games.
Exactly.
This is where the release of Warzone comes in. It's not that Warzone...
And also why Cold War is a critical success. Cold War, lads, sold more copies than Black Ops 2. That is insane.
was a better battle royale than Blackout. It's just that it released at the perfect time, and it was free to play, separate from the main 2019 game. So now, Call of Duty is reaching player numbers
XQC
they've never
playing.
seen in a
Everybody's
decade.
saying dead game.
So fucking bad.
Warzone took a runaway success for Infinity Ward, and Activision, the ones in charge,
Woo,
don't wanna
juicers.
ruin this momentum.
That's
During
juicer
all of
gameplay.
this, Treyarch was developing their next game, along with a sequel to Blackout.
Right.
This is when Activision came in and told
Oh, lads, I love Blackout. One in chat if you do too. I wish we could have got a sequel for Blackout. I really do, man. I really do. It is, like, listen, don't get me wrong. Warzone's fun. But there was just some sort of character behind Blackout that really is missing in Warzone now. There's like, sure, you have the Godzilla event, you got all these like events, and then half of that is just propelled into bundles, right? But you don't have like Verrucht in Blackout where you got the zombies and the Blight Fathers walking around, and it just felt so much more different. I'm telling y'all, lads, I always am a proponent behind this standpoint. If Blackout was free to play, Warzone, I don't think would have done as well. And I think Blackout would still be around, to be honest.
Treyarch...
Why was the Mark II blue in Blackout? We don't know.
They didn't want another
We don't
battle
know.
royale to steal the attention or money away from their new hit.
Yeah,
if Blackout 2
that's really
were
what it
free
was.
to play or built into the game like BO4, we don't know.
Yeah.
But what we do know is that all the assets, locations, and the entire map they created for Blackout 2 wasn't just deleted. It was repurposed into Outbreak.
That is actually true. This is what he said is actually true, right? So Treyarch was supposed to do another Blackout, right? And you can see that what they did with the multiplayer size, one in the chat, if you ever played Fireteam Dirty Bomb, that's what Warzone or Blackout 2 became. It became Fireteam Dirty Bomb. Because you can see with the way that Outbreak and Fireteam Dirty Bomb are, it's like Blackout and Warzone kind of put together, right? And so I liked Fireteam, right? I didn't necessarily enjoy... Honestly, I think I like Fireteam Dirty Bomb more than Outbreak. I know it's weird to compare them because one's a multiplayer mode, one's a zombies mode, but it is the truth. He hit it spot on. Like,
See,
that is the
Outbreak
truth.
was never a mode that was developed with the express purpose of making a giant open world with nothing in it that you run around for 15 minutes, wasting your time until you come to the next repetitive objective.
And remember how fast Outbreak came out after Firebase Z? I'm pretty sure Outbreak came out like a week after Firebase Z did. And so you knew that this has been cooking for a while at this point, right?
No, because this map was made for a battle royale game, not a zombies one.
That's true.
But
That's
during
true.
this time, Outbreak did do something. It attracted a lot of players.
Yeah.
Not zombie players.
Warzone players.
Warzone
Yeah,
players.
exactly.
Because it felt similar gameplay-wise. And it was incredibly easy and simple.
Yeah.
Not requiring any of the skill of older zombies games needed to put into either surviving or doing Easter eggs.
Yeah. Okay. And listen, like, lads, one in the chat, if you remember in Cold War, where they released the season updates, and then, like, half the zombies content was for Outbreak. No! Oh, that killed me. That actually ruined my soul, man. It was so sad to see zombies just shrink further and further and further as the seasons progressed. But then listen, the Outbreak changes were cool. They added like a grapple gun. They added different objectives. I just wish it was a lot more though, for sure. Right? Like, and this does go to say that, yeah, like, did Warzone take out zombies? I mean, we're witnessing the proof right now, man. This is the truth.
I do too.
This new zombies mode was attracting tons of new players, and Activision saw these numbers along with Warzone, and they thought that zombies was better than ever because of this new mode.
And I think a lot of the reason why Warzone players went to Outbreak, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was it. Didn't they go to Outbreak to level up their weapons for multiplayer? I think that's literally what it was. I think a lot of the time, a lot of them it wasn't even to play zombies. It was to level up weapons to then go back into MP. So really, the enemies could have actually been humans. The zombie, like, this is kind of the same thing we're seeing with MW3 DMZ. It could have just been humans, right? Like, that's where I said DMZ fans, I don't even think want zombies. They want humans fighting humans, right? Like a PvPvE. And the fact that MW3 DMZ now is just strictly PvE, I think DMZ fans are going to be disappointed, you know?
But here's the thing about new players who aren't really fans of a mode or game. They don't stick around.
Exactly.
And when you cater to non-fans of something, you end up alienating your actual audience.
And you see the proof with MW2 right now. The player counts on Steam are dropping abysmally. You see it every year, man, because of this. It's so true.
Which brings us to Vanguard.
Yeah.
You see, throwing Outbreak together was easy and took little to no effort. Just reuse some assets and throw zombies into it.
Exactly.
So when Activision was having Sledgehammer scramble to make Vanguard as fast as possible, they needed help developing a third mode.
Right.
Which is where and why Vanguard zombies turn out the way it did.
And they knew that they were selling us nothing, y'all. Remember the 15-minute trailer John Fong had? Remember how they were literally hyping it up as like the sequel to Cold War Zombies when in actuality, it was nothing. It was not like that at all, man. It's so true. It is such a great point as well.
Treyarch believed that because they threw together one easily produced mode that gathered them...
They advertised runes, which is literally something you pick up to place in an objective. We were like, oh, runes are going to be like this crazy new mechanic, like maybe like the liquid divinium currency of the game. Nope. It's literally just like picking up points in physical form. That's all. I mean, and they advertised like sightline. It was bad, man. Like half the budget went into marketing for real.
Tons of money and players, they could just do it again.
Yeah.
When laziness is rewarded, there is no incentive to try harder.
It's so true.
Vanguard would go on to release in a...
Which is why we need to stop buying bundles. I mean, listen, I know my COD fellow zombie YouTubers are going to be buying bundles on MW3, especially if DMZ does well. Chat, mark my words. Mark my words, they're going to be buying bundles. Listen, if COD 2024 is good, I will buy bundles if it's good. If it sucks, I'm not gonna buy bundles. But I know there's a lot of YouTubers now who also get a lot of publicity by buying the bundles because a lot of people don't want to as well. So it's just this big conundrum of a problem that's developing right now. And the only person that's really winning is the CEOs of Activision, not even the developers, because they're just slaving away making these bundles, man.
Pathetic state. Not even having wall buys, wonder weapon, pack-a-punch camos, or even an Easter egg for that matter.
Yeah.
And no amount of fixing or patches could change the basic design of the
or
mode.
Bring the community
Designed
back.
once again around lazy, repetitive
very true.
objectives.
Yep.
The people left still playing Vanguard begged for round-based. Round-based.
Oh, never in my life, lads. I remember going to the BO4 pre-reveal event. Never in my life would I think in 5 years' time we would be begging for round base to come back. Is that not insane or what, bro?
I hate that term.
Oh,
it's just
interesting.
a bunch of nonsense to try to segment the community and justify the absolute
True.
lazy and inept gameplay designs.
That is
The
actually
same
so
thing
true.
happened with the Sonic community.
That's a
back in
great
2011
analogy,
with
right.
Generations.
Yeah.
Before that, there was just good Sonic games and bad Sonic games.
Yeah.
But when they introduced classic and modern Sonic as separate characters, it only drove a wedge through the fan base even further. Now, it's not about a good Sonic game, it's about a 2D game or a 3D game.
It's exactly what's happening with Call of Duty now. Because it's the same thing with Sonic. You have 2D games and 3D games, and now with Call of Duty Zombies, you have round-based and Outbreak. I mean, it's so true. And as soon as you delineate, as soon as you put a line in between that, bad things happen. Because then you physically cannot cater to everyone. Period. It just delineates what the mode originally was.
Now we see
It's
this
so
with
true.
Zombies because Treyarch got lucky on one boring mode that had reused assets and managed to have high player numbers for a few months. Now we have brainlets arguing round-based or objective-based.
Oh man, I am so glad a lot of the people that don't watch me are on Twitter because listen, like Twitter has this massive Outbreak fan community and they love it. They eat it up. They love picking up thousands of pieces of intel. They love it. To me, it just feels meaningless. It doesn't feel like an actual journey that you're going on. And so to be honest, I fully agree. It's just that like I didn't mind Outbreak at first, but seeing what it's doing to original zombie fans also is just, it's upsetting. It really is. It's
There
the
is
truth.
no round-based.
Yeah.
It's either zombies or an objective mode that has zombies in it.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
The only people
exactly.
that liked Outbreak aren't even zombies fans at all.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Since so many people have been asking me to play something other than Warzone, we're here on Zombie.
Well, so that's what I mean, right? Like a lot of Outbreak fans aren't even zombie fans. They play Warzone, right? And so it's like when you argue against them, it's this like they're bringing in that like toxic community into the game, right? It's so true. It's so true. Like it's such a great point.
No self-respecting zombie fan who experienced the quality survival mode we saw evolve from World at War through Black Ops 1 and 2, hit its strides in BO3, and end in 4 would touch Outbreak and see it nothing more than a waste of time.
Facts. 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 It's facts. This is facts. Listen, I like Outbreak, but seeing what it's done to the greater mode as a whole has and lads, people thought I was crazy for saying that zombies is in a potential to become extinct. They thought I was crazy. Here we are. Here we are.
Because it had high player numbers in Cold War, Activision has mandated that its mechanics, which are so antithetical to the zombies mode, that it should be in every subsequent game. This encourages Treyarch to be lazy and do the absolute bare minimum. And what we get is the death of zombies.
They added time limits. Okay? Time limits. I'm sure you all know what time limits are, right? And
Yeah, and lads, I'm not gonna lie. What was the first mode that added time limits into zombies? It was Outbreak. It was Outbreak in the boss. I like that mechanic. Don't get me wrong. But now they have taken the time limit and they have brought it to the whole mode. And MW3's new mode, you can only play for 60 minutes. I don't care what the mode is. I think that is a horrible idea. I know a lot of OG zombie fans hear 60 minutes total and they're like, no. And lads, you know the only reason they would ever add that is to appeal to multiplayer fans. Because the time span can't be over 60 minutes, right? It's to appeal to like the competitive multiplayer idea of like 60-minute total games. So again, I am very interested to see how MW3DMZ performs. I actually think it's going to do well. Honestly, y'all, I think it's going to do well. But as a traditional zombies fan, it like literally hurts to see what's happening to the mode. It does. It hurts.
When I hear time limit on a zombie mode, what do I think? I think of maybe an hour long.
Yeah.
These fuckers put it to 16 minutes.
It is 60 though. This is wrong. But
What
yeah.
happened to the times when we would receive a fully fleshed out experience at launch?
Yep.
With a full map, unique weapons, assets, story, Easter egg, side quests, survival maps, but most of all,
He's spitting!
challenge.
He's spitting!
Cold War is one of the easiest zombie games I've ever played.
It is. It is. I mean, lads, I know a lot of people that got their first round 100 on Cold War. D-Machine, exactly with the Noah J strat right here. Ring of Fire ray gun at the top of Noct. And it just, I liked it. I like that a lot of people got into it, but you can see how they're like slowly forming the steps for what we're getting today, right? I'm like, lads, I'm genuinely so curious what people like Jason Bundell would think about what's happening in zombies today. I know that they would not enjoy it whatsoever, period.
Not even including Outbreak. It is so boring and hand-holdy. I can't bear to play it. It doesn't feel like zombies.
That's true.
It feels like...
Zombies was all about discovery. It was all about finding things for yourself. I mean, that's like the greatest part about zombies. We are still finding side Easter eggs in like games that are like 8 to 10 years old. That's... What other game has that? Literally name one other game that has it. There is no other game.
Campaign and multiplayer areas with zombies in them, which is the exact opposite of what World at War felt like. All of those maps were reused assets, but the developers put the time in to make them feel unique.
Oh, don't get me started. If this man would say this on Twitter, he would get absolutely roasted. Because I hear this all the time. They're like, bro, it's not new that Treyarch brought back campaign assets. But bro, look at this map. Verrucht is, I believe it was both a multiplayer map and a campaign map. But they still put the time in to cater it towards the zombies. Right? That is the thing, man. So, that's just such a bad excuse. And I think it's just a lame excuse for writing off developers being lazy. When, lads, I have 3 developers, y'all. 3 developers that are fully remaking Die Rise, and we have almost done it in a year's time. 3! Treyarch has hundreds of developers. Hundreds. Like, that's all I need to say. That is all the factual information that you need to know. Legit.
They had character.
Yeah.
What character does Cold War have?
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
None.
Cold War Zombies was literally multiplayer, okay? With zombies pasted in it. No longer did the game mode feel separate. They felt like one. Black Ops 4 at least had maps that looked zombified, okay? That looked scary and different. This was obviously a zombies map. But Cold War could have just been a location from a campaign mission converted into zombies.
It's true. It's true. Like, listen, I know it's a hard thing to hear for a lot of people, but like, it's true. And like, what's stopping COD 2024 for being like that? I always say, if the minimum for COD 2024 is what Cold War is, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. But to be honest, if it just is the minimum of what Cold War is, which is just campaign maps or old maps remastered, put into the game, is there really a future for zombies, right? Like, is there really something that we can look forward to? When half the time they're already just remastering content. And I've already said, in the next 10 years, Call of Duty could physically die because they're going to run out of content to remaster. They're going to run out of content. And when that day comes, all of the fans are going to leave, right? So, this is the thing. So, no one's going to be hyped for Origins Remaster. We already had it in BO3, man, We don't need to remaster maps multiple times. And I think that's what Activision's going to be doing. I guarantee you, lads, I'm going to be honest. I'm putting my hands up. One in the chat, do you agree? COD 2024 will have a remastered map. Cold War did. Black Ops 4 did. BO3 did. It's going to have a remastered map. The track record is saying yes. Even maybe the first map on COD 2024 could be a remastered. Just like how it was on Cold War. So,
Oh yeah, and
That's how it
playable
is.
characters? Fuck that.
Not from its
True.
generic maps, to its uninteresting story, to its soulless operators. Zombies used to have character. It used to have characters. It had soul. It had effort.
You
But when
spit.
Treyarch tried to put as much of that as they could, it was rejected. Black Ops 4 was rejected.
Thing is, man, it's just like I said. BO4 was rejected because it missed one critical thing. The gameplay. If the gameplay, and we just talked about this, if the gameplay had all 4 of the original perks at the start, I genuinely believe with my whole heart that BO4 would have been way better off. Way better off. Even if they added it later into the game, it would have still reeled in a lot more fans and people would have enjoyed it. I really believe that. Because the thing is that a lot of people like BO4, but a lot of you guys are hardcore zombie fans, right? And so it goes to show.
And
Goes
it
to
has
show.
all of those things.
Yeah.
Every week that I play Black Ops 4, I run into new players. People who have just gotten the game recently.
And it's because people are missing that old zombie feel, man. It's so true, dude. Thank you, Dedication, for the 500. But this is factual. This is straight up factual, man.
And haven't ever played it. Because either they skipped it or were told it was bad zombies. And
Right.
not even bother to play it.
Well, so this is the thing. Everybody needs to keep in mind, YouTube holds like less than a total of like 2%, in my opinion, of the total player base of all of Call of Duty. No matter what. Period. No matter what. So blaming YouTubers is not the right idea, right? It's mainly just about what it is on the gameplay. Do people recognize what BO4 did? They didn't, right? And that's why, like I said, bro, Blood of the Dead failed because new players got to the catwalk and could not continue with that map. They did not understand the specialist system. They did not understand the perk system. It was just too much reading and too much comprehension right at the start, right? Whereas zombie fans loved it, you know? The 2% are very influential. I disagree. Look at what's happening with MW2 right now. So many people are dogging on MW2, yet they are making the most money they've ever made off of the most recent game. And that is not because of YouTubers. That's because of the casual audience that is outside of YouTube buying these bundles, right? And so that's what I'm saying. It feels like Call of Duty is like on a ticking time bomb.
Because of the zombie
You know?
YouTubers. I know this may be anecdotal evidence, but every single one of them that I've talked to said that they stopped playing Cold War because it was either too easy, boring, or didn't feel like zombies.
Dang.
Who's to blame for this state of zombies?
All of us.
The answer
Is all of us.
is everyone.
Yeah, it's true. All of us.
It's everyone's fault.
We're all at
no
fault.
one person or company can take
Yeah.
the blame.
Yeah.
It's not Activision's. They just saw numbers and dictate that the games must be made like the ones that brought them in money. It's not the fans who quit Zombies years ago because while Blundell was in charge, he completely alienated the casual players by making overly complicated maps.
It's literally all of us. Yep. Blundell was at fault. The YouTubers are partially at fault. But to direct the whole blame at YouTubers is the reason why Activision loves having YouTubers make free content for their game. Because who doesn't take flack? The real person who directs the game. Activision. Right? Which is why, ever since BO4, Activision has gone AWOL. And everybody can see that. It's very obvious now.
The mode is super noob friendly and a lot more simple now. Dude, because the last time I played Zombies, I was so lost, it was insane.
It's not the devs who working on
True.
a strenuous
I mean, Jev hits it right on the head. Like, easy equals fun nowadays, right? Or meta equals fun.
conditions during COVID just slap some unused assets together for some kind of content release. It's not the zombie YouTubers who praised Cold War at release and bashed Black Ops.
Who's
4.
this guy,
They
man?
had their most
Who is this
successful
guy?
time during BO3, and when BO4 changed
true.
the mechanics and did something different, they didn't like it. Or maybe it's everyone's fault.
I think I think it was really everyone's fault. Because, lads, I will never forget, like, playing BO4 at the pre-reveal event, and I was talking to Milo, and I was like, I am horrified to what the community has to say. And then the leaked gameplay got out. And, lads, you remember what the first thing that people complained about was? The HUD. Everybody thought it was dog water. Complete dog water HUD. And guess what? They never changed it. They stuck to their guns, man. At least I can say with Cold War, they actually listened to the community a lot more than in BO4, right? So it's just very interesting how we have literally it's true, we have put ourselves in this position, but will Activision let us out? I don't think so. I don't think so.
The fact is, Zombies, as it looks from Modern Warfare 3, isn't getting any better. Treyarch isn't listening to the community's criticisms for Vanguard, and now we're going to have a Zombies mode, not made for Zombies fans. If Treyarch's 2024 game...
And that's the nail on the head. That's the nail on the head. We have a Zombies mode. Like, lads, I'm going to say it again. 1 in the chat if you're getting Modern Warfare 3 for the Zombies, 2 in the chat if you're not. I do this for a living, and I'm not getting the game. You know they're not catering to us anymore. This is the second year in a row. Like, you would have thought that after Vanguard, round-based 100% would be a staple of the series no matter what. I don't want to hear excuses of the devs are getting bored, whatever. No. It's how can we manipulate the gamers to buy bundles in the store. That's what it is.
Doesn't fix the issues they've had for the past 2 years, then Zombies won't have a future.
No, I agree. COD 2024 is the make or break game. If this game launches with no round-based map, it's over. If this game launches with a remastered round-based map, oof. Like, this next game sets the tone for all of Zombies in the future. And I think a lot of people will make their decision right at the start. They're going to know right at the beginning whether if it's right for them or not. If 2024 fails, am I quitting? I've already said I am. If 2024 fails, I'm going to GTA 6. Like, goodbye COD. Zombies is practically over, right? And so I know a lot of people are contrarian. They're saying don't hate it until the gameplay comes out, which I think is very fair. However, will MW3 Zombies mode even last a week? A week? I don't know, man. Vanguard didn't.
It's sad to say, but it's the truth. Why is it that older zombie games still have players populating them?
Exactly.
Why does BO3 have new custom maps made every day?
Every day the new custom map. Lads, the custom workshop is a miracle. It is a miracle. It's legit the truth. Like, lads, you see Noah J 456 is literally carrying the custom Steam Workshop community more than Treyarch is. One YouTuber. One man. That is mind-blowing to me. I'm sorry, but like, you know the developers are failing when the YouTubers have to do it. Like, I'm helping out with Zombie Chronicles 2, with Die Rise Transit, Mob of the Dead even. Burry's coming out as well. And then now, after that though, what's left? And I've even said, if COD 2024 bombs, you can kiss the idea of the Great War map and the Atlantis map goodbye. Because those would be way more difficult to make. And I would only ever make it if I can see the Zombies fans are still even around at this point. You know? So it's such a true statement.
Cold War is completely dead. Because trends don't last. And chasing them is a fool's errand.
Really is.
Making lasting experiences with passion and effort put into them is what will be successful. It's what made Zombies popular in the first place. It's what made it so successful. The replayability factor. No one wants to replay something that's boring, repetitive, or has no challenge. We want a challenge.
The zoom in got Noah done dirty there.
We want to survive against overwhelming odds and find a way to overcome it.
Exactly.
We want zombies to be great again.
Whoo! Dude, that was an